Are you looking for an escape from manufactured truth wrapped in selfish agenda? Don't you just want to have a real and raw conversation, all masks and rules aside? That's what you're getting here at Titan Evolution Podcast. Get rid of all the nonsense information and discuss everything under the sun without filters. Listen to real stories of real people who will put your current perspectives to the test, guide you on living the life you truly want, and see everything free from judgment and pretenses. Time to get rid of those unhealthy environments and let your authentic self shine. Here are your hosts, Travis Johnson and Carol Carpenter.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm here with Carol Carpenter and Matt Russell. Matt, how you doing today?
And I'm doing great.
That's good to hear, Matt. Matt Russell has his MBA. He's the CEO and chairman of the board for ProCents. He's a speaker, author, coach, entrepreneur, and just a great all-over dude. You know, we're happy to have you on today, Matt.
And I appreciate the time. I'm excited about this one.
Podcasts are becoming a big thing. You're getting on that podcast guest train. Woo woo!
No, it's more like woo woo.
What was it? Major Payne? He's like toot toot. Yeah,
that's a great movie. So many great reference points in there.
Oh, here we go.
One of the
It's
best
going to hell in a
storytellers of all time.
handbasket already.
Yeah. There's something in my closet. Starts shooting it up. If he in
Trains
there,
off the wheels already.
Pew, 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 pew.
Hey, we're happy to have you on the show, Matt. We've known each other for over a year now already. I can't believe the time has been flying that quickly.
Yeah. I'd like to say it's been more of a punishment knowing you that long, but no, it's been great.
Oh
been
my
really
God.
good.
I think I love him already.
We bring people on board. Those that you want to be a guest on the show, we bring people on the show based on how willing they are to give me a hard time. That's our criteria for getting on the Titan Evolution podcast. So we
set the bar low. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. If someone doesn't meet my standards, let's go ahead and lower my standards. That's how we do it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Like
That's
my
how
high
Matt
school
got in.
dating career. Set the bar lower.
Jesus. Oh my God. Poor Matt.
I gotta know, Matt, what makes you a Titan?
What makes me a Titan is I haven't given up yet. You know, I keep striving to be better. And my drive to keep learning and improving and humbling myself to hang out with people like yourself is what makes me a Titan.
Oh my God, he kissed your ass. What in the actual F is happening? Would you like a room, like a private room? I'll like step out now.
We may already have one booked. I'm not sure.
Well, we're going to see you in Mobile in a couple of weeks. So
Yes.
yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. I love that you haven't given up. You want to keep striving out learning, and then you want to have a fantastic inner circle, which is why you have me included. Those are three big things. I don't think people realize just how important it is to not give up, have a quality circle, and then keep learning as they go along. You are a little bit older than me, just a couple of years, but I know that your penchant, you're striving to always take in new information and learn new things based on your list of degrees, certifications, and all the things that I know you do on a regular basis. What drives you to keep doing that, to keep learning, keep finding new things?
Honestly, what keeps me going forward is my ability to connect people. Like, I love socializing with people. I love interacting with people. So the more I know, I may not be an expert at it, but I can say, oh my God, you want to learn about riding motorcycles? Crap, I haven't done that in decades, but crap, there's this chick, her name's Carol, and she's like the moto vixen. You need to check her out and just let that happen. Because when the warm introduction comes with the knowledge of, hey, this person can help you get there, I think it lessens the fear and anxiety and just allows things to happen. And when you're able to connect people, I'm not a big fan of this word, but people feel like there's reciprocity owed to you. So I like being in a position where people may not owe me something, but they're going to talk highly about me even when I'm not in the room, which is a great place to be.
Yeah. Positive experiences.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to make sure that when people talk about me in person, it's only negative, not negative when I'm not there. Positive when I'm not around, negative when I am around.
That's right. Never
talking behind your back.
If you're talking behind my back, it better be good. If you have a problem with me and you're not telling me about it, we're obviously not friends.
But you know, the truth is, who wouldn't love you, Travis? Come on now.
I'm sure I'm the villain in somebody's story.
Big bad Travis, all big bad wolf. In somebody's story. Isn't that the truth? So is it something that you originally set out to do, like this whole energy sector that you're currently in, or was it something else?
Honestly, when I was coming out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I've had conversations with Travis, but like I watched my dad, who was the first entrepreneur I ever saw. Everyone else was, I had friends that pilots for Delta, doctors, but my dad was an electrician. And when he left General Motors, he opened his own electrical business. So I actually saw him open his own business and hire people. So that was the first entrepreneur spirit I saw. But growing up, getting my first job, I was like, all right, don't know what I want to do, but I like interacting with people. So sales, I guess, is kind of where people fall into.
Sure.
But it never truly stayed in one field. Like I've done a variety of different things. I've started selling pizzas, working at Domino's and Pizza Hut. Then I worked as a waiter, and then I worked in a home theater, home automation, doing AV. I even got certified as a certified gemologist, working for a jewelry store that has a national presence. And then I got into lighting, which I felt was a good fit because my dad was an electrician, and in the place where I worked, we could recommend local electricians. So I was able to throw my dad some work and my brother to do side jobs. So it allowed me to get there.
Nepotism.
Yeah. It allowed me to spend time, but it never really fulfilled me. But the connecting of people and just being a social butterfly and getting out there and just having fun and working on business and growing a business is kind of what I've fallen into. And that's where, ProCents was born. And it's still kind of an homage to my father, because it is energy, but I love it.
When did that shift happen from you being like an employee to all of a sudden an entrepreneur?
Well, unfortunately, I think the shift happened well before I became an entrepreneur, which if you ask some of my old managers, they would say, yeah, he was a asshole back then. Because
what you mean back then?
Yeah, because if someone said they were going to do something, I expected them to do it. And there's so many people in management that say, hey, we're going to do it, but never followed through. So I saw that. I saw that early on, but it wasn't until 2019 where I launched ProCents and I actually became my own entrepreneur, which was absolutely one of the best things I could do at the time, because it allows me to still have relationships and still provide a positive impact for my friends and the industry that's helped me develop a name and some clout. So however small that field may be. So
I'm sorry, you do realize my field's even smaller than your field. Like my industry is this big and yours is like way bigger.
Yeah, everyone needs lighting.
Size, I know. Hey, I'm waiting for the joke because I know Travis is going to go there. It's not about the size, but in reality it is. So anyways.
I didn't think you would be comparing sizes with Matt. I didn't expect that today.
Really, Travis? I know you know me. We're going to go there.
Well, Matt said he was a certified gemologist. Do you know the 4 C's for diamond?
Cut, clarity. Yep. Come on. Cut, clarity.
Cut, clarity.
Crap. What's the other 2?
Crap isn't one of them.
That would be the 5 C's. Where do you want the 4 C's?
Color.
Color, and
Can't remember the last one. It's been a while. It's been about
carrot.
10
Come
years.
on, man.
Oh yeah.
I say this.
Yeah, clarity, carrot.
I say
humbled.
this knowing that I had to Google it, and I've got it up behind my screen because I knew.
Oh,
I
love it.
question.
There you go.
I love it.
The only thing on my screen is two beautiful faces and then Travis.
I knew it. Oh, I knew it. I knew he was going there. So who do you have on there besides me, you, and Carol? There's two beautiful.
I got Dwayne The Rock as a screensaver.
That would not surprise me in the slightest. Even in Atlanta, you can recognize The Rock's glory. Yes. What are his 4 C's on that rock? What's his cut? What's his
really?
What's his carrots? How many carrots is The Rock?
I don't know. Let's divert the train to another track, please.
Changing subjects. Let's be subtle about it now. All right.
We could add slippery slope with that one.
Yeah.
And he lives here in Atlanta, so I don't want to mess with him because he could be at my house probably in an hour if he wanted to.
Ooh, I'll be there. Just let me know when and where.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
You're in Canada. You got to have COVID testing to get back into the States if you're going to go see The Rock.
That stopped a long time ago. I have my vaccination card. You have to go through everything anyway. So yeah. Yeah.
So Matt, what did it take to get you from your journey from where you were to where you are now? There's always these stories, these trials, these tribulations that people have to go through that never seem to make social media. You always get the highlight reel on social media.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, it was just having conversations with a variety of people. I love my friends from high school and, middle school that I still hang out with, but I wouldn't say my friends are this way, but I saw this post that, people that you grow up with resent you more because they are not having the success you are. It's fear of missing out or something like that. I'm not sure exactly where it is.
There's actually a saying, right? They say everybody wants you to succeed. They just don't want you to succeed more than them.
Yeah, that's probably exactly right. So, but just like having conversations with you and so many other people that we know within our circle has allowed me to expand my mind and how I look at starting a business, growing a business. 2016, I got the opportunity to work with a friend of mine. And during that time, I was a supplier for him. And I watched how he built a business. And this was his 3rd or 4th business that he was working in. He already had sold the others and made a fair amount of money. And seeing how he, incorporated, doing an LLC versus an S corporation, having 2 companies versus 1, and having a trust and having these different things that you don't learn in school, things that you learn by doing. And, that was awesome. So seeing the path, because I would go to my dad and I'm like, hey, what about this? And again, he just paid rent on a place and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. But the marketing and what we deal with now with reach, and especially for me, since I have no geographical boundaries, anything on this great green earth of ours is I can touch. Where, a lot of small businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs are solely focused on a regional play. But for me, seeing someone that has already worked on a continent scale, and been successful, I was like, all right, well, this is someone I need to look at. But the nice thing about it is I looked at it and I said, you're doing great, but also saw his own character flaws, but we all have them. I was like, all right, don't do that. Don't do this. And he's like, don't do these things because I'm still paying for them. But if you can avoid these pitfalls, but having those conversations and saying, all right, this is how I navigate and fundamentally make the shift, because you actually have to have a change in mind, a change in heart to say, I can go from being a small business owner or a W-2 employee to being an entrepreneur. Because when you go from being a W-2 owner, employee to a small business owner, you're creating something, but you're going to build bars around you. You're going to shackle yourself down to it. But when you become an entrepreneur and having all these conversations with amazing people, I'm going, all right, how do I structure this in a way where I don't have to be as relevant as I want to be?
What do you mean by relevant?
Where I can step away from the business for a month or two and the business still work flawlessly.
Oh, so you're saying, how do you build a machine without having yourself be one of the cogs in the machine?
Yeah. Because, connecting people and socializing with people is a passion of mine. So this is not work for me. This is something that is a passion. This is something that gets me excited. But having people that can do the same thing without you, yeah, there might be a little drop off, but no one can be me. No one can be Carol. No one can be Travis. But if you can find people that are like-minded and say, this is your vision, let's go after it, and just do what you say you're going to do, I think that's the key. But you do have to have a fundamental change in heart and mind before you can do that. A lot of people say they want to be an entrepreneur, but they will never change that mindset. So they're always going to be stuck blaming other people for their own faults.
Well, that's a very limited mindset that they have. They haven't opened their perspective. And once you do, and I don't know, Travis, who was it we were speaking to that we talked about this, about the education system and, going through high school and college, and basically you're getting a degree to be pumped out into the trade, right? Mm-hmm. And we're past that. I mean, if you want to be an entrepreneur in so many ways, you don't need to go and finish college. You need a different education altogether. That expands your mindset instead of limits it into this box of, oh, this is what I have to comply by. These are the rules I have to, live by. And entrepreneurs live way outside that box.
Yeah. Well, and that's, a great statement. Like, there's a friend of mine that I have, one of my oldest friends, and went to a prestigious college here in the South. And I did not go to a prestigious college. But I read one of his professor's bios probably 3 or 4 years ago, and he's been out of school for several years. And the professor had never started a business, never worked in a business.
Doesn't understand.
He was the professor that taught business.
That's crazy. Don't you think that's nuts? That you have a professor that's teaching you business that's never had a business? How is that possible?
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the broken system. Is even in the trade field of, where you go to a trade school and you come out, there are a lot of people that get promoted to become managers just based on tenureship, not because of talent. It's like, oh, well, you've been here for 3 years, you should become a manager. It's not that you're good with people. It's not that you're good at communicating. It's just you were here, you filled a seat, and now you're this. And there was no training or education to get that person ready. Mm-hmm. And there was no backfilling of that. Hey, how do you get someone in? There hasn't been this replenish. I heard it the other day. It's planned at obsolescence. But if we go into any business and say, how can we create a succession plan as a fundamental foundational building block, then you can truly thrive in any business you're going to be in, because you're already looking at day one, who's going to replace you, because you want to go on vacation, not because you're afraid of, I'm going to get replaced.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Although I don't know, I love what I do too. So I don't want to be replaced, because I like being there and I like making people happy and seeing the smiles on their faces and interacting with individuals. So there's a part of me it's selfish, but if you ask any entrepreneur, we're doing what we love. It is a passion, which is why it's really not a job. Even though it is a job, excuse me, it is a job, but it doesn't feel like a job. Yeah. Because it's something that you created that you want to be a part of.
Yeah. But I mean, if you knew that you could pick up another 3-4 hours a week just being on the track,
Yeah.
with 20 new riders, how awesome does that make you feel?
You know what? I get emails from people, right? And I get emailed all the time because we have these events. So coming up to the event, I get emails. After the event, I get so many emails and texts and messages through, all of social media. They
Yeah.
private message me about what amazing time they had. They really like our program. I get thanked on the day. I say goodbye to everybody when we leave, and they give feedback. I mean, this is like, I don't know. I wouldn't trade what I do for anything in the world.
Yeah, and that's what being an entrepreneur is. But if you can find things that, within that business that allows you to spend more time, with the people, and, yes, you want to be genuine when you reply to people, but some of the stuff can be automated. It's not like, hey, thanks for coming, but
I know there's just a personal touch I can't help.
Yeah, the booking process could be some of the stuff that is a time suck. If you can say, all right, well, if I can shift that, because I'm going to ride for another 20, 30, 40 years, but
yeah,
you want to spend more time riding as opposed to building. And then if you can have someone build that and you spend the time engaging, because you're like me, that engagement is what gives you fuels
you. Yep, absolutely. I agree.
That's the reason that I'm on camera, is because this is what I love doing.
You love looking at yourself?
I love
sorry.
Talking to myself. Mine's actually the only picture that's up. I don't even know where you two are on the screen. I couldn't even tell you. It's just me. It's just me talking to me. For those of you listening that know me in person, that's an obvious joke. For some of you listening for the first time, you're like, man, this guy's kind of high on himself, isn't he?
We're just poking fun at Travis. Which is
the only reason Carol even wants to be the co-host. She's like, I just want to pick on you all the time. Is that? Can we do that?
It's kind of fun, right? We get to pick on each other. We get to pick on other people. It just kind of feels like everybody's family. So it just, I don't know. It just feels like a big family kind of thing.
That's my girl Pug. I love her to death. Matt, you were saying earlier that when you were working for managers, they wouldn't follow through, but you also said that you've hired people. So how do you hire the people that aren't going to be like those managers you used to work for that never followed through?
Well, I hire people and then I lead by example. If I tell someone I'm going to call them back, I'm going to call them back. If I tell someone I'm going to email them, even if I don't have the answer, I'm going to say, hey, I'm still waiting upon the answer. I need a little bit more time, but at least I'm communicating. Mm-hmm. Communication is the key to solving most of the world's problems, but most people avoid delivering not so pleasant news. And no news is sometimes worse than good news.
Bad news.
Yeah. Because
sometimes you have to give the bad news, but at least you're delivering something to them so they don't feel like you're ignoring them or putting them off or they're not important or,
Well, and the thing I look at it is, as a business owner, I need information as quickly as possible so I can be informed and make a decision. If people went through life that way and said, I need to deliver this information as quickly as possible so the person on their side can make a decision, that's being respectful of their time and their talents. Because if you don't think that they can handle the bad news, then you think they lack talent to be able to adjust and adapt and overcome. But everything that we do in life is about adjusting, adapting, and overcoming. But if we take those opportunities away because we're afraid of losing a relationship, if you're that, pathetic, and you have to say, oh my God, I can't deliver bad news, then you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. You should be a W-2 employee and just follow orders.
Yeah.
And just do what people say, because people thrive on information and are able to digest that. People watch television and make educated decisions all the time based on what they see.
Or uneducated, just depends on who we're talking about.
Depends on what news you're watching, right?
Well, it depends on what your perspective is. You know, some people say that's the right decision, other people say that's wrong. But everyone has a different. We're like, even right here, we're all on this thing doing the Titan Evolution podcast. 3 people from 3 different backgrounds, but we all have a past. We're here. What is some of the listeners are going to take away from this? Go, holy crap! I resonated with that. That was a catalyst for me to move forward. If we didn't have that conversation, they wouldn't have had that aha moment. But because of fears being set aside and just saying, shit, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, we can help someone. Maybe only be one person, or it could be a lot of people, because you never know what the next domino is going to be.
Resonate with, right? At the end of the day, you don't know who it's going to resonate with. So then let me ask you, what would you consider one of the hardest or toughest obstacles that you had to overcome?
Travis and I discussed this about 2 months ago. So the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome was me being pronounced dead.
Holy crap. Okay. I did not expect that. Okay.
So yeah, June 14th, 1996, I was coming home from Virginia Beach, helping my brother move, fell asleep at the wheel about 35 minutes from home, overcorrected, got ejected out the vehicle.
Not wearing a seatbelt or
I was wearing a seatbelt, but I was helping my brother move and something hit the seatbelt and it caused it to come undone. And I went out the window. Oh. My brother was in a U-Haul box truck in front of me, saw all this happening in side mirrors, came back, didn't find me in the vehicle, went back to his flashlight, and then comes across a dead body, or comes across a body, which is me. And this 1996, what did we have plenty of? Cell phones, not. So luckily a tractor trailer stopped and CB'd to get help. Yeah. But my brother was in the Navy, very much like Travis. He was a sonar tech on the USS Norfolk, which got decommissioned a couple of years ago. Irrelevant facts to, time to stamp this thing. But he came, he found me, and as the ambulance was coming up, I lost consciousness. And my brother, being a corpsman within the Navy, he said, hey, this is what's going on. They got me loaded. So shot epinephrine to the heart, 2 paddle series to me to get me back. But, 7-8 minutes. I'm not sure the exact time. I didn't have the out of body experience that some people, did you go see Jesus, or, see a white light, or did you go to hell? Nah,
I went to hell and hell didn't want me. So they kicked me back.
Yeah.
I got ejected out of the car, then I got injected out of hell.
Yeah, so maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Story.
But I was very high. I was very high on the horse. In between my sophomore and junior year, I was a pretty good athlete in track, in field. Every other sport I was okay at, but track and field was where I excelled, and I was getting notoriety within that arena. And, I was ranked very well in state. So I had a pretty good opportunity to get a scholarship. And, I had girlfriends out the wazoo during that time. My parents said that should have installed a revolving door because they never got the.
Oh, he was a player.
Yeah. They never bothered to get the other
names. Obvious player right here on the screen.
Yeah. They never bothered to get some of the girls' names because they knew they would never see them again.
Ow.
But, yeah. And that's my mom's words, not mine. But regardless, it was having to sit out a year from sports. And then seeing who actually came to check on me, because it happened during the summer. So school's out. And it's not like we had social media, MySpace was not even a thing at that time. So that tells you how old I am. I think we still had yellow pages, and that's, a thing that you looked at for find telephone numbers for those.
Oh, I'm aware.
Yeah.
We had it.
I don't understand.
But
we had the rotary phones too, that you could use the pencil. Yeah. Yeah.
But there was an article that was run in the local newspaper, and it was amazing, the outreach of, friends, which truly humbled me. So to go from high on the horse, thinking my shit didn't stink, to being, holy crap, people actually care. My parents have always been kind and loving people and always out others focused. That was not me at that time. So it was that change, but there was a lot that I had to overcome. It's like, all right, well, how do I still be me, but still, get what I want, and being conceited and cocky and all the other stuff that a high school kid is. So that was probably my biggest challenge. And then, not really learning how to walk again. Luckily, I didn't have to go through a lot of therapy, but my left leg was nearly amputated. Had several fractures to the skull, a blood clot on the brain. So, but just, sitting back and trying to be the cheerleader for other people, which is now kind of what I do now, is like, I want to meet people so I can be the cheerleader for them and help be the champion for them. And hell, the first time I'm thinking about it is, that's probably what it was, is, that was a fundamental change. And how do you become a champion for other people when people championed you when you probably didn't deserve it? Because I probably didn't deserve a lot of it.
No, I mean, you could have deserved it, but this is a chance to reflect on your life and see what might have led you to where you are, right?
Yeah.
And the reason you do what you're doing.
Very well. That very well could be. So
a big shift in perspective. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Matt had told me the story about his death and then eventual ejection out of hell and back into the living a couple of weeks ago. I didn't give Carol this information in the read ahead stuff because I wanted to see her real reaction and get, level live reaction, just cold react to this. What are you going to do?
Well, because we don't ever really talk prior to any of our podcasts. Mm-hmm. And we each do our own research or lack of research or too much research, right? And what we're asking is genuinely where our conversation is going. So if it organically goes there and I'm curious, I'm going to ask. And life is all about curiosity, especially when you're getting to know somebody. And I don't have much experience with you. I haven't met you before. So, of course, I asked a big question. Thanks a lot, Travis.
You're welcome. You have been set up in part by Travis Johnson. Travis Johnson is go into some kind of ad right there.
Right.
I've already.
Yeah. Jesus, that's quite a story in itself.
Yeah. It really is. And what I love about stories like this is that there's always a before the incident, during the incident, and the aftermath. And what we find in the aftermath, even though it was obviously terrible, right? It was obviously a horrendous situation. Be ejected from a car to get brought back to life and then have to rehab and rethink your whole life, because I'm sure you had scholarships lined up, and I'm sure those changed when you could no longer perform as a track athlete. So when life throws that stuff at you, as it throws to everybody, it doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from, how much money is in the bank, or any of that other shit that people say matters. Life happens to everybody. It really does. And what becomes of that? What is the aftermath? What is the change? What is the transformation that does or does not take place? Does something like that happen and turn you into a cold-hearted bastard for the rest of your life? It can. It absolutely can. Yeah. It happens to a lot of people that I'm no longer friends with. But when that stuff happens, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to grow? What are you going to learn from that? How are you going to incorporate those lessons into your life moving forward? What does that really do for you, and how does it change your life? And it sounds like it was the great awakening that you needed to be the Matt that we know today.
It is one of those things that I look back on from time to time. And obviously, the further I get away from it, the less I think about it. But it is one of the things that I do look at as a catalyst moment. And I like to think I had a pretty good upbringing. Great parents. great family friends, but was I really exemplifying their behaviors, or was I doing so? So to get refocused, it was nice to get that swift kick in the ass that a lot of us need, because there are times that everyone needs to be conceited, and I honestly say need to be conceited, because if you're not fighting for yourself, no one else is going to fight for you. But you also have to be the ability to be humble enough to ask for help when it's outside of your scope of capabilities. And that one event was that kick in the ass that allowed me to say, all right, well, Matt, you cannot do a lot of stuff. Like, I still felt like I could play football, or I could still wrestle. And I wasn't good at really either one of them, but I wanted to. But, I had to look at doing other stuff. So I found other things to occupy my time to help make me stronger for when I did get back to doing those things. But even when I got back, there were still fears on the coaching staff that didn't allow me to fully come back, because they're like, oh, well, we don't want someone dying on our field. So, it was very limiting. So fears and not having all the information available to you is, you have to adapt, and being able to get kicked in the ass and adapt from getting kicked in the ass is the number one skill set, I think, of a Titan. So I'm going to tie it all into the Titan evolution. Is you have to be kicked in the ass and be able to adapt and overcome. If you can't do that, just be happy where you're at. Find your passion in something else.
Whatever that might be, right? Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, find your happy place. Mm-hmm. Reside in your happy place, because, I think too many people say they want to do something. Oh, I have a passion for this, but do you really? Because when you go down that route, there is going to be so much hardship. So the amount of passion that you have has to be great to overcome all those hardships. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're a little bit like, yeah, I have passion for it, but I could let it come or go. I don't really care. When you hit that very, very first hardship, you're like, I'm fucking out. That was too hard. No, if you really do have a passion for it, no matter how hard it is, you'll fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing. You have to be able to fight for it. But you got to know what's worth fighting for in any business. And that's the great thing about my business is, like, when I started it, in 2019, like, I didn't start it alone. Like, I got a board of directors to say, Matt, you're a freaking idiot. You're a dumbass. And then don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And some of the stuff I said, all right, I don't need to do that. But some stuff I go, I just need to modify that. Mm-hmm. Adapt.
I feel like I've been on an honorary board of your directors for a while now.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You gotta have people say, hey, what your passions lie and what your vision is, you got to go after it. But you got to have people around you that are going to help you stay on the path and get rid of the excess baggage that's going to weigh you down. And if you can get rid of that excess baggage as positive criticism or constructive criticism, you're able to find your point of thriving so much easier than you can by doing it by yourself. And that's one of the things that I love saying is, I don't know too many people at the top of the mountain, because I'm still at the bottom, I think. But I guarantee when I get to the top of the mountain, I will not be alone. I will have a lot of people with me, because I had people help me along the way. And I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that view, because I'm surrounded by people that were on that journey with me, who were the naysayers, but they were also the naysayers that kept the excess baggage at bay. And instead of me trying to lug that, why do I need a cinder block, for this journey? No, I need better shoes. I don't need cinder blocks for shoes. I need shoes, and have the right tools, have the right resources around you, and you can do anything. But,
I really love that. It sounds like you're saying that it's required that you get feedback and take direction and have people hold you accountable in order to keep moving forward. It's so interesting how this parallels to everything else. I like to bring things back to sports because so many people watch sports at whatever level or participate in sports at whatever level. When you're growing up and you're in middle school or high school and you go out for sports, you've got a coach, which is fine. You need a coach. You need someone to help you get those rules and the fundamentals and all this. Now, what people forget is those people at the top. However you feel about Tom Brady, I don't know. He's probably the GOAT of his sport, right? Through all of the things that he's done, even at the top of his game, winning, I don't know, like 7 Super Bowls, something like that. He's had a coach the entire time. He has someone that does fitness with him. He's someone that takes care of his meals. There's someone that's on him in the film room, making sure that he's getting his film time in order to perform at those highest levels. You have to be surrounded by the people that are highly skilled. They're going to keep you accountable. They're going to put your feet to the fire, that are going to kick your ass so you know when you step out of line. It's not just for those beginners. It's not just for the people that feel at the bottom of the mountain. It's those people that are on the top or heading towards the top on that trajectory that keep having the coaching, having the people that kick them in the ass, to have the accountability, have people that say, hey, that's all good and well, and I know it's fun for the weekend, but next weekend you better be back here doing this and working hard at it, because there's no way you're going to get to the top if you take that break every single time.
Absolutely. And that, that's a great thing, and here's a tie into the sports analogy is I'm going to say Jerry Rice, Tom Brady, Walter Payton, Ray Lewis, all Hall of Famers. One of them has an award after him, the Walter Payton Man of the Year. But if you put Walter Payton at quarterback, Tom Brady at linebacker, Ray Lewis at wide receiver, how many titles does these people play or win? You have to be in the right seat with the right people around you to achieve your goals. And it doesn't matter how skilled you are, if you're in the wrong seat and you stay there and you don't have someone telling you you're in the wrong seat, or if you're too stubborn to hear it, it's your own damn fault.
Well, you're setting yourself up for failure there, aren't you?
Yeah. Because we can all be great at whatever we want to do in life, but you have to find, like you said, the perseverance. And when you get kicked in the ass, you got to find people that are going to help you, pick you up and help you mend it off. Say, all right, well, why did you get kicked in the ass? Well, that was dead weight. Leave it there. Oh, that was just misrepresented. We need to repolish that turd and get that out into the public again, so we can get the adoption rate to find success and to find the buy-in of the people that we are inherently trying to serve, no matter what field it is.
Well, don't you think that's why it's most important that you surround yourself with people that you trust, people that deserve to be in your inner circle, so that you can actually thrive, because their opinions, the things they're actually relaying to you. Yeah, some of them may at times say things where it may be a little bit more one-sided. You have to be able to take all advice, even bad advice, right? And weigh your options from it. But I think it's really important to be surrounded by people you respect and trust.
Well, I look at that, and I said this on the other podcast I was on several months ago, is trust and respect are kind of like being accepted and just being approved of. Obviously the same word, trust, respect. I trust a lot of people, but just because I trust you doesn't mean I respect your business sense. Because if you're very complacent and just want to do a task and without thinking about, how to improve on that task, that's not the person I want trying to give me advice. I want something that's always.
You want somebody that's challenging you, right?
Absolutely.
But I'm talking about surrounding yourself with people that you would actually take their advice because you trust that they have your best interests at heart. Yeah. And they can see you going down a route that is going to be fruitless and at least stopping you before you make that journey, because it's a rough journey.
It is. And I will say, as much as I would love to have that journey happen with a lot of my high school friends and stuff like that, the journey that I've been on the last several years has been so far removed from them because it's been around people from that I've met on LinkedIn or, in other organizations, because they are constantly looking at change and evolving. And in that evolution is where I find it's, and that's what I'm seeking after. That's why I'm always looking to find the next conversation, to be engaged with someone, because you could be in my life for my entire life, but if you're in my life during a critical moment and be that point of influence where I can find a catalyst statement or catalyst moment or catalyst thought, that's important to me. You may only be someone, and trust, a lot of people say, trust is, given, not earned. I like to say trust is earned, but respect, like I can respect people for what they've done in their careers. I go, man, I want to model after that. But I only want you in my life for a short period of time, because that's only going to be critical for now. Now, if we develop a relationship, maybe that was narrow-minded, but maybe it's finding the fruit in every harvest. So every harvest would be every relationship that we're in, because, like, again, Travis and I, we've known each other May of last year, we haven't known each other long, but the conversations that we've had and just the growth that I think both of us have had, along with some of the other people that we've socialized with, has been, I think, unparalleled to what we've had with relationships that we've had for longer periods of time. So it's making sure that you're present enough to find that trust and respect of other people, to allow them into your inner circle, to help give you that kick in the ass, that motivation to look at things a little bit differently, to find a better way. Because there's not one way to make $1 million. There's a lot of ways to do it. And, I know Travis is, great at podcasting, but there's, he wrote a book on it, and he's even said, I don't know everything, but these are really good practices. And if you can find something from that, you got to be willing to learn from the teacher. And that's where I'm trying to be a lot of the time, is, being at a state of being present and being humble enough to be taught by other people.
Well, there's plenty of ways to skin a cat, right? There's
That's
not
right.
just one way.
I only know of 2 ways, so if you've got more, please let me know.
Of course. There. Yeah. Here we go, Travis. Oh my God. Okay, so tell me, what is one of your biggest pet peeves?
It's do what you say you're going to do. That's
so you're saying
through,
accountability.
Really grind your gears.
Yeah. If someone tells me that they're going to call me or they're going to reach out to someone on my behalf and, make an introduction, do it. If you want to hit my shit list really, really quick, just don't do anything. Just say you're going to do something and don't do anything. Because I believe actions speak louder than words. So shut your mouth, start performing. I don't care if I don't care if the performance sucks, but at least your actions, hey, let's get it moving. Paralysis by overanalysis is, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for action. I'm not a Harvard professor. I'm not a prestigious educator or coach or anything like that there. I'm a get shit doneer type of person.
Get shit doneer. I like it. GSD, get shit doneer.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. You've got it right there. He's just got your name, your call name.
There you go.
Yeah, your call sign is Get Shit Done, or GSD for short. Carol's is Pug.
Right. We are not calling me that. We are not.
That's the beautiful thing about call signs, is you don't get to choose your own call sign.
Yeah, apparently I had no choice and they called me it. So great.
When I see you in a couple of weekends, I'll tell you what it means. I'll tell you the story behind it.
All right.
It is a funny story. Although I can make fun of him and say he's being like awfully racist, because it's not because I have a pushed in nose.
I would never be racist.
Travis,
you have a pushed in nose?
Get hate mail. You're going to get hate mail.
I hope I get hate mail. I hope someone is brave enough to have a problem with me and start a genuine conversation.
Right?
This show is meant to get under people's skin, because there's not going to be any rules, any boundaries. We're going to be able to talk about whatever we want. We're going to be able to cuss. And I know Matt's a good Georgia boy, and he knows how to cuss. It's one of the reasons we brought you on the show today. So here's the deal. Life will make you uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It's designed to. You're going to grow from it, or you're going to get mad from it, or whatever, but it's going to make you uncomfortable. And if you can't function in an uncomfortable world, you're not going to be able to function at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah. So Matt, I got to ask, what kind of advice do you have for the future? People listening to this, they're in the shit. They just died and got revived. What advice do you have for those people?
Every rain cloud or every storm has a silver lining. It's not going to be forever. Tomorrow's a new day. And those are the things I had to keep telling myself, it's, there are still days I wake up and I go, oh man, this is going to be a bad day. But but getting up out of bed and persevering, having a conversation, it brings stuff back in perspective. Don't let the bad ruin your perspective. There's a wise man that I saw on social media posted something. I think he saw a picture above a urinal.
Oh my God.
And took a picture of it and talking about photography. And so I think that wise man is Travis Johnson, but why he's taking pictures in the urinal is beyond me. So I'll let him tell the audience.
What are you talking about? What does the picture say?
Life is like a photograph. You always process the negatives. You know what I'm talking about now?
I do. I just shamelessly stole that from somebody else. It wasn't my photo.
Oh, I thought you were in there in the bathroom taking pictures. I'm like, what the heck?
No. After that one court appearance, I'll never do that again.
Are they finally allowing you back within 200 yards of a school?
Right.
It's 1,000 feet, so I don't know what that is in yards. 300, 10, I don't know.
It is going to hell in a handbasket, I tell you.
But again, you have to. There's been a lot of shit that everyone's overcome.
Yep.
And you can let it weigh you down, but you can say, "Well, I can get through it." It's going to suck. It's going to hurt.
And by the way, if you think you can't get through it, what's going to happen? It's going to be awfully effing hard, right? Yeah. So might as well have a positive outlook on it and just say, well, let's fucking roll up our sleeves and get to business. We got to get it done.
And I will say this on behalf of me. Travis may not resonate with this. Carol might not resonate with it. Maybe they do. But I guarantee there's someone within your circle. If you're having a bad day and the shit's just like unbearable, you could reach out and phone a friend.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to hide your fears.
Absolutely. Those are the best friends. I was very fortunate enough when I was 15 years old, which was a long effing time ago. Todd was my best friend since the time I was 15. And he knows everything there is about me. He ran around with me. We were wild children. And if he ever tells a story about me, I am up shit creek without a paddle because, and we've had long talks. Like I told him I'd murder him in his sleep. I'd come in.
I can condone a lot of
safe
things.
now. She just admitted it. So if something happens to Todd, we know where to look.
Yes, they come find me. Chances are I did it because he said something he shouldn't have, right? But him and a few other people are the people I turn to. Like when shit goes bad and I'm having a crappy day, it just comes down to a phone call and just, I don't even need the words of encouragement. Sometimes it's just venting and getting it out, right? And they just need to be there to listen and support you. And it's having that wonderful support system that has gotten me through some pretty awful situations. And once you get all that negativity out, it's amazing how resourceful you can be. You can troubleshoot yourself out of anything. You just need the right attitude to do it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I looked in my social media to find the picture Matt was talking about. There's no urinal in this photo, but the caption says, "Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important, capture the good times, develop from the negative, and if things don't turn out, take another shot."
Oh, I love that. That is a beautiful quote.
Absolutely. I don't know who it's attributed to. I totally stole the photo off of someone else's social media. If that ever becomes a punishable offense, I will be in a lot of trouble. But until that day comes, those are some amazing words of advice for anyone else listening.
I'm glad that we were able to get Travis to provide some sense of wisdom to the show today.
Oh, yikes. Ooh.
It's not the Travis Spews Wisdom Show. We'll tell you that right now. It's the Evolution podcast for a reason.
Yeah.
We're all evolving. We're all simultaneously masterpieces and in work at the same time. And that's okay.
That's right.
Yeah, we're always, it's constant and it never ends. And we're always evolving. It's what we do. We're always trying to be better.
Yep.
And I'm always willing to take a hard time for Matt because I know he's going to shower me with bourbon and cigars when we're in Mobile.
Oh, so you ass kiss each other. Is this what's going on here?
It's a man crush.
Jesus. All right. That's okay. I don't like either. So sorry.
What's your drink of choice, Carol? Hot tea? Honey?
Wow. You think I'm boring?
Well, to be fair, when you first met me, you thought I was boring. So
no, I didn't think you were boring. I just thought of another word. But anyways.
I think Carol's a tequila gal.
Tequila?
No, I'm not. I'm not. More vodka. Vodka's kind of down my.
There you go.
Yeah.
Vodka.
I love vodka martinis.
Dirty?
No olives.
Dirty?
No, no. I don't like dirty.
No olives. I found that out there. I do remember.
No olives. I love olives.
But
I
not
just
dirty.
don't like not dirty.
So no
I
blue
like
cheese
other
olives.
things dirty, just not my martini. Hey, we're going there, right?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you got to.
Oh my goodness.
Because we got to figure out how we can get this thing sponsored by Grey Goose, Tito's.
No, Grey Goose, Belvedere, Chopin, any of those guys want to sponsor? Hit me up.
There you go.
Well, we'll have to record this and leave out the competitors and send.
I know, one to each one. Okay, what else?
Yeah.
I don't anticipate anybody's going to anyway, so you just leave it all in. It's all good.
I work
Matt,
for alcohol.
I want to know. I know you got a couple of boys. What is your favorite activity with your boys?
So it's a little bit different with each of them. My oldest, because he's.
Wait, hold on. How many do you have?
I have two boys.
Okay.
So I have 8 and 5.
Oh, they're little tykes.
Yeah.
They're
So cute.
babies.
Yeah.
My oldest, he's a little bit more reserved and analytical. So love building Legos with that guy. It's just a lot of fun. My youngest, he's a lot like me. There's not a filter between his brain and any other part of him. So he's like
Most men. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
But with him, like when I can get him to calm down, like this past week, Shark Week, love Shark Week. So he, getting him just to cuddle up with me, watch Shark Week, or we'll sit there and we'll play outside and watch him run around on his 4-wheeler. So, he's still just exploring everything, but he'll be my bruiser.
Yeah. Oh, what's funny though is I raised 2 boys. So mine are 24 and 26. And the one thing I noticed was the way they were when they were growing up, like they almost had a swap and change. And what I anticipated one to be, the other one was. It was a really interesting flip. So you might see that when they get older.
Yeah. No. It very well could, but right now it's they start back to school this week, so starting kindergarten and 3rd grade. So it's a exciting time here at the house, getting everything ready.
Watch them pitch. Time though when they're that age, they're lovable. They haven't hit their teenage years yet when you just want to like kind of murder them.
Wait,
I
thought in the teenage years you didn't want to murder them, because I want to murder them now.
Really? Oh no!
Because they're little versions of me.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh.
So I look at it and I go, and I laugh.
Trying to be an alpha dog here? Yes.
It's funny. My friends here in the area, I go, that have kids around the same age. I said, "What's the over under on how many times you want to throw your kid through a wall today?" And they're like, 10, 20, because Karma is she's a mother. and she doesn't use lube, and it hurts.
That's the quote from their show. Karma is a mother and she don't use lube. I just want to clear some things up for the folks at home listening. It is perfectly okay and normal to want to throw your kids through the wall. It's actually not okay to do it, just so we're clear.
Yeah. That's one step too far.
Yeah. No children were harmed in the making of this show.
Disclaimer right now.
Yeah. But no, it's great. My parents laugh. They're like, "Oh, they can't do anything wrong." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So, and my mom's just like, that's
right. Your mom's getting payback through your children.
Yeah. And she's loving every moment of it.
Oh, I know she is. God.
Sitting over there, sipping on her martini, just smiling. It's right, fucker. How's it feel?
Yeah. Mama pours the old number 7 in there and just start, yeah, that's right. Yeah. You had this coming.
Karma sucks, doesn't it, honey?
Yeah. But, I wouldn't trade it. They're good kids, but they're beating each other up. Like before the recording, they were wrestling around. The youngest one kicked the other one in the face, and he's got a big footprint on his cheek. He's like, "I think you loosened the tooth." I was like, "You're 8. You have loose teeth already. Shut up." I was like, "When y'all wrestle around, someone always gets hurt." So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How else would you know when to stop?
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
And luckily we have
when there's a KO, that's when
we
it's
have a doctor across the street, so he's performed emergency surgery once or twice.
Oh my God.
So it keeps life interesting.
It does.
And the nice thing about it is they get to see, and the greatest thing about being the entrepreneur is I don't have to go into an office. So when I have a little downtime, especially during the summertime, I get to go spend time with them. And, I've learned more about certain TV shows, I thought they were going to be watching like Flintstones and Jetsons. No, they're watching weird stuff like Pokemon. I'm like, I don't understand that crap. Get some Wile E. Coyote and bombs. I don't want to.
Oh my God. If you said that to your children, they would probably like roll their eyes.
Yeah.
And yeah, no way. Oh my God.
I've tried. I've tried introducing them to it. They're like, this isn't good. I'm like, you're not my child. You're adopted.
That's one of the things I love with the kids is showing them different TV shows and stuff. So my kids grew up on DuckTales and Gummy Bears and Gargoyles from the 90s. I did watch Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. Me and my son have been watching Dragon Ball Z, and I made my wife watch it when we were dating. So now my son's talking to my wife about it, and she's like, "I can't believe I know all this shit." I was like, "You're welcome."
I know, it's horrible. You know what? I bet you she won't admit it outwardly though.
Yeah, she probably likes it a little bit. Yeah, she probably likes
likely.
it. Yeah.
So it's, but the nice thing about it is we're talking about, learning experiences. I've had my kids go, why don't you do it that way?
Force you to
that's
reflect.
A good learning experience. Yeah.
It's amazing that kids can see stuff through a perspective. And one of the greatest things I've embraced is finding expertise from people outside of the industry.
That's huge. That's how Jay Abraham had his name in the business world become so huge, because he did a lot of stuff. I think real estate where he got started. I'm probably wrong. Feel free to be like, Travis doesn't know shit. Yeah. It's probably true. But when he started going to different industries is where his knowledge just grew exponentially, because a lot of the principles are the same, but there's so many different ways of doing things. Like real estate, a common thing when you're selling a house is to do an open house. What other industries do that or could benefit from something like that? If you don't take some of these practices in other industries and try to inject them into your own, you'll never be that person that has like is on the leading edge of technology that's figuring out how to do all this stuff before anyone else does it, because they're trying things from different industries. It's really amazing to see how that works.
Yeah. And that's how for me, it's like I saw gaps. I'm like, how can this be done better? What's an underserviced market? What can I do? All right, why are there silos? How can I have cross-pollination? So all these things are going on, and they're constantly evolving into new revenue, new opportunities, and which allows a better reach. Because I'd rather have influence over 100 than have influence over 1 million than have influence over 1 million that don't have influence at all. And there's a lot of people that want that million because like, I got the million. Nah, you got to find those people that can have influence in their particular things, whether it be real estate, horticulture, CBD, that's a big thing. Crypto. If you find people that are influencers in those, and then you can help them, it's a game changer. And that's why, that's where it's at. Don't limit yourself.
That's why we brought you in for the energy space today.
Yeah. Wait, this is energy? Shit.
Is that what we're talking about? Man, we took a really hard left somewhere here.
Hey,
we started talking about trains and
as we're getting ready to wrap up today, what final words would you have for our audience?
Well, one of the things that I do every day is I have a routine. Travis and I have talked about, but I do push-ups every day for 22 veterans that commit suicide. And that's what I want to bring awareness to. But my message in that and what I want to put forth every day is, just be kind to others. Never know the reach of your kindness and the impact it can have on someone in their day. Because you're 6 people removed from everyone, and don't be a dick, because if you it's going to come back a lot harder on you than you put it out. So just be kind and be others focused. And that's really it. You can do those things on a consistent level. Every day is a struggle, but you can do it on a consistent level. You'll be all right.
I think we should label this show "Don't Be a Dick."
Then I spent half the show being a dick. It probably wouldn't work out.
I thought it was like mother and no lube. Well, I thought that was it.
Oh God. Yeah, that would bring a lot of people to the show just to figure out what that was all about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be the title of this. Is Karma is a mother and doesn't use lube. Hey, thank you, Matt, so much for being our guest today. It's been
man.
Sort of a pleasure. I enjoyed most of our conversation. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to hearing this back because I always love hearing my voice and replay. I'm going, oh my God, I sound like a little girl.
Oh, shush. We're so critical of ourselves. I swear.
That's all for this episode of Titan Evolution Podcast. We hope this no-holds-barred conversation opened your eyes on what it takes to live a genuinely happy life according to your own terms. Now that you've treated yourself to such a refreshing discussion, you cannot listen to nonsense content anymore. Be sure not to miss an episode by subscribing to the show at TitanEvolutionPodcast.com. Don't forget to share the word so more people can be enlightened, informed, and entertained. Thank you for listening.